are recording. This is exciting. I'll put my bag over here.
Yeah,
That'll be our guest.
not
'Cause
bad. What kind
that's
of bag
about
is that?
I don't know.
That-
Kipling.
Oh, Kipling.
Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah,
Are they
I
nice?
think he was the first one to the North Pole or the South Pole or something. I don't know.
Oh, really? By the way, I would have like bought that lock, stock, and barrel. Like, oh, okay, because I'm a fucking moron.
Yeah, I
How was your holiday, Rick? Do you celebrate Christmas?
not really.
I mean, I know your heart beats black.
Yeah,
Not like, I'm not being racist here because everything seems racist lately.
well, that's because of your racism.
Oh, okay. I couldn't figure it out, but now I'm feeling it. Now
Yeah,
I'm
it's
thinking. But I was thinking of like the Grinch with his little black heart.
yeah, mine doesn't grow.
Okay.
So my wife is Jewish,
Okay.
so
Good
she
times.
doesn't celebrate Christmas.
But she likes the menorah.
Nope, she
Okay.
doesn't celebrate that either. So like Julia learned about Christmas stuff at preschool because they had a Christmas tree
Oh, Christmas tree.
and they taught them Christmas carols and all that bullshit. So I had to go to her preschool Christmas celebration presentation, which was
Okay.
just terrible. It's like
You're saying a bunch of kindergartners put on a terrible show?
not even. I mean, they're 3. They're not
Oh,
even
I'm sorry,
kindergarten.
preschool.
Yeah,
That's preschool.
yeah. So they
I
gave
can't
them all
imagine.
Jingle Bell and then made them sing Jingle Bell Rock, and most of them were crying because they just didn't know what was going on. There's just all these parents taking photos, and so this.
Was Julia crying,
the
or
show
was she
ge-
just looking like, "What's wrong with you, pussies?"
Well, they line up like the 25 kids, and I'm looking. I'm like, where the fuck is Julia? And then I see she's like 20 feet behind all the kids, hiding behind a cabinetry because she doesn't want to be a part of it. So one of the teachers goes and forces her up to the front, and she's like just standing in front of everybody. Everyone else is standing together, and she's just standing by herself, violently shaking her jingle bell, not singing. Flings the jingle bell at one point.
I mean, why do they force them to put on a show?
I don't know. I mean, like these kids are like 2.5 and 3 years old. They have no fucking clue what they're doing or saying. And
Yeah,
I'm just standing there like,
excited to run and play, and they don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Like I've seen my nephew in his kindergarten show where he had to sing, and I remember my brother Billy looking at him going, "Sing," and I'm like, "Leave him alone." Then
yeah,
flash to this year, he was a shepherd, and so we go to
Finally.
church, and my brother Billy's in church. I'm like, "This whole place is gonna burn down. You haven't been in here in a long time."
yeah.
The last time I think I was in church with my brother Billy, he forced me to go to communion when I hadn't made my first Holy Communion.
That's badass.
So I've been dead for years.
Yeah.
In the church's eyes and my own,
Well,
quite some time.
I mean, it's all it's all pedophilia over there anyway.
It's true.
So.
And then his son was on the altar, and he's really cute. Like he was holding his staff and like his shepherd. He was doing his thing.
Yeah,
And there was a real baby. Mary was
always weird.
the 8th grader was holding a real baby.
Was it
and
hers? Because I mean, that could be straight South
Fingers
Philly.
crossed.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed. But
Yeah.
I think it wasn't because today they tell them things.
Oh,
And
see, I didn't
back in
know.
the day we were. But yeah, so she was holding the baby, and my nephew was just looking like she's gonna drop that baby. Like,
Yeah.
so they were singing, and he wasn't singing because he kept just looking like, "Hey, Mary,
yeah.
what are you doing?" And then
Feed that baby, man.
my brother Billy was like, "Sing," and I'm like, "Leave him alone. You don't even go to church, weirdo."
Yeah, that's
Now
weird.
he's got to sing in the carol. It is forceful, and it gave me anxiety because I forgot I blocked that out. But apparently, I was part of that when I was at that age, because the angels came up and I
You were an
played
angel? I remember having to be in
Talk about miscast.
the Christmas nativity play.
Yeah, that's exactly what
at,
it was.
At church when I was like, I was probably in kindergarten. I had to be
Yeah.
Joseph. And I remember the year before my brother was a shepherd. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to be
Nice.
a shepherd. And then
You
they
didn't get it. You got
they made me be
upgraded.
I guess.
That's a bump.
I just remember being like, this sucks. And my mom coloring a beard on me with mascara or something. And just being like, what are we doing? And then everyone being like, you were a really good Joseph. I'm like, cool. I'm the dude who didn't fuck that
Yes, but
has a
that baby's
miracle baby.
there. That's a miracle baby. Yes, that is. That's rape, old school
I mean, we're
style.
talking about a bitch who stuck to her
That's
story.
ghost rape.
No. This was an angel impregnated me.
So isn't that
Mary, you cheated on me.
technically
No.
ghost raping, right?
No. Listen, no, there was no one else's dick that came inside me for sure. This was God.
Yeah, that's you don't just have to be, come in to
It's-
have a
it's-
baby.
yeah,
Rick.
it's
I
not-
don't know if you're reading.
It's not ghost
Properly.
rape. It is just a dude boning a slut down in
Whoa,
Bethlehem.
Whoa! Why she got to be a slut? Why can't she just be
because
lonely?
it was like 10 BC and she's out there just getting the bone,
Well,
violating all the rules of the day.
it could have been hot out. Some people have problems when it's hot out.
So it's hot out, and so she wasn't wearing clothes, and then
It's like, oh, it's so
just
hot.
this swarthy,
What could really
this
get me
swarthy
through
Middle
this?
Eastern man was like, "I have secret to making you feel cool."
I have hummus. I need to get out.
Unbelievable.
I don't see why not. I would let him do it. I the story is always like sketchy,
Yeah,
but I remember in 8th grade we would have to put on a passion play.
I mean that sounds like fucking.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what I was hoping.
Mm.
So they didn't let me in it. Well, they wanted me to be in it, probably because I was so good as an angel.
Yeah, that was it. They heard about.
But they were like, yeah, be a part of it. You're creative. I'm like, I'm not creative. Leave me alone. Like, I would get mad.
Yeah, you were a fighter then.
Yeah. Well,
You weren't an artist like you are today.
Still a fighting artist.
Well, I guess that's
Maybe
true.
I'm going to, that's a good
Art of the
thing.
fight.
Right. But like a fighter who like beats people up artistically. Like, I punch you, but your bruises in like a cool.
You're the Jackson Pollock of face beatings.
It's just like a bam, 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 bam.
Blood splatter onto a canvas from the beating you give.
This would be so exciting. Even if I got the beating, I don't mind it.
You don't care.
I don't care. I just want to feel something. I'm Irish.
Yeah.
You have to find. You're like, there has to be something in there. There has to be something in there. You just keep punching, and then there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It feels good. Feeling nothing feels good.
Really?
Yeah, I'm tired of feeling anything.
I mean, I guess you're right, because if we didn't have so much anxiety, I think that all the anxiety started with things like jingle bells,
Yeah.
putting you in the plays, putting you in a passion play with no passion.
Listen, if this shitty fucking preschool presentation had worked out the way they wanted it to, it would have been awful. Anyway,
Would it have been like a
It'd been
Netflix?
25 kids just screaming, "Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock."
Oh,
And
they
the-
made him sing that song too?
Yeah.
It's not even religious. It's like a...
Nah, yeah, there's no
Okay,
religion
okay,
there
okay.
because, I'm sure there's some multi-religious qualities at this place. They seem like they're woke, other than definitely making fun of Native Americans as much as possible over Thanksgiving.
Okay. They make fun of him?
Well, they had them doing art projects that were extremely questionable. and
Red-faced?
They were
Is that how you become racist? When you color your face?
Yep. I
Okay.
mean, there was just a lot of handprint Indian faces with like very
Oh,
huge
shit.
Indian noses
Okay,
and stuff.
okay.
From like,
Are they Italian or
yeah,
Indian?
I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
we should be allowed to. And the fucking hippie, the hippie,
hippie woke
school.
Teacher. Oh, the school, yeah.
There's like a
Is it a Montessori thing? Is it?
no,
Oh,
no,
good, thank
but
God.
no. There's this. So the preschool
Sorry.
just started doing this bullshit. What's it called? Where like you composting or something.
Okay.
So there's like some rich kid hippie school in Topanga Canyon
Okay.
that it's like $30,000 a year, and
Oh, shit.
they go to class
That's
3 days a
college
week,
money.
and 2 days a week it's all outdoor exploration where they learn while hiking the trails of Topanga Canyon because your spirit can't be held down in the classroom.
Yeah, boy.
So these fucking loser kids came to the Thanksgiving presentation
Okay.
to talk
that was
about
their
composting.
outdoorsy thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like one of the kids looked like Sasquatch. His hair was so big and matted, and they're just so composting is good because every year as a nation, the amount of waste we put into the planet is the same. And everyone, it's just a bunch of rich asshole parents who are just like, eat my trash,
Basically.
kid.
What I don't really know what composting means, I don't think.
It's like instead of throwing your food in the trash, you put it in a bucket and then you let it break down naturally, and then you put it back into the soil and
back to
use
nature.
Use those nutrients.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Some ridiculous bullshit.
Because in my head, I'm like, am I wrong? I don't know what this means.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
And it's not using any plastic. You
right.
Instead of using a plastic fork, they've got these really great wood and bamboo forks now.
So
that
amazing.
You can throw in the compost bucket and just.
I'd like to put them in a bucket.
Oh my God.
Put the lotion in the basket and then just fucking
I'm
be
a
done with it.
lady.
Put all of it in the basket.
Yeah, so these people are just fucking losers. But the kids came out and they were singing some Indian song or song about being Indians for Thanksgiving, and one of the hippie school kids was like, "This is not appropriate. This is cultural appropriation." I'm like, "That's not what it is, you fucking retard. This is just making fun of a different culture."
This is
cultural appropriation would mean that they were trying to actually act like Indians. They're
right.
not doing that, you fucking moron.
They're just
don't try and act better than us and not even know
what you're saying,
what you're offended by.
Which is what they all do.
Someone should have just beaten these kids to death, and a couple of them were minorities, so it wouldn't have been okay. But
well, here's the thing:
the white kid should have been beaten to death.
Whatever kind you are, minority, not minority, whatever,
sure,
should all be beaten.
Yeah, everyone should get a good licking.
At some point, you need to be smacked in the face, or you just grow up to be the worst person and work at the airport, I'm assuming.
Probably. A lot of airport workers.
Issue today at the airport, I got...
You flew in today?
I flew in today.
Oh, okay.
So I flew in this morning, Philadelphia.
To Atlanta.
To Atlanta, and then to L.A., obviously. But I was so pissed. I got there an hour early, which is very good for me.
Yeah.
I'm usually 45 minutes.
Sure.
What's up? And I usually have to sprint a little bit, but no big deal.
Okay.
Philadelphia Airport. Good times.
Yeah.
They open, they're like, yeah, TSA gets there when they get there.
Why not?
So
what time was your flight?
5:50 a.m.
Nice. Okay.
So it's 4:50.
Yeah.
She goes, you gotta go to the back of the line. I go, okay. So I'm walking around, turn. I basically went all the way around the airport.
Okay.
To the line. I'm like, oh shit. So I see a guy running through. I go, hey man, why is this? He goes, oh, we ain't open yet. We ain't open yet.
Yeah.
We got flights, motherfucker. There's people that have flights before mine leaves.
Yeah.
I can't be the first flight out. It's 5:50. Oh my God. I was 2 seconds before they shut the door. 2 minutes maybe.
God damn.
I was like, you motherfucker. So I walked up and this lady's leaning on the post, like a beam, whatever it's called, like in the middle of the airport, just leaning. I ain't doing anything.
Yeah.
Another worker talking to her. Guy walks up. He's like, hey, my flight's at whatever. He probably had 4 seconds to get through. Thank God I met somebody in line. They were like, go ask. I'll hold your place, because her flight was a little bit after mine. So I went to ask, and as the guy's like, my flight, la la. She goes, whatever time your flight is, you got to get in the back of the line. And he was like, yeah, but she goes, I don't care what time your flight is. And I was like, bitch, you need to be.
I'm taking from your inflection that this was a extremely white lady.
A very white person. Well, it's Philadelphia.
Right.
And so.
It doesn't matter where you are at the airport.
She was fucking nasty. And then I walked up and she goes, you heard what I said to him. And I was like, bitch, I will snatch that weave out your fucking head.
Right. A very white blonde weave, I'm guessing?
Actually, it was blonde.
Mm-hmm.
It was blonde. It was blonde braids. And, bitch, get a different job. Because you have to work with people. And if you have to work with people and you don't like people, don't work with people.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop working.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. Like, I would never work in customer service because I'd be like, go fuck yourself every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop waiting tables.
Yeah.
Because every time someone talked down to me, I'm like, I know you think you're better than me because I'm serving you, but I don't give a fuck, and I will put my dick in your food. And then managers get so mad every time everyone knows you're putting your dick in their food. So I just couldn't do it.
Why would the managers get mad knowing your dick is in the lunch? I don't understand.
And I just never got it.
Big deal is.
It's like, yeah.
That's like spices, guys.
I'm dunking my nut bag in the ranch dressing. So what?
Who likes ranch dressing?
Have you had any complaints from anyone about the ranch dressing? I've been doing this for weeks.
For weeks.
Yeah.
And you're...
At Islands in Manhattan Beach, everyone liked ranch dressing.
Did they really?
It was so gross. The foulest of all flavors.
I've never had ranch dressing.
It's so gross.
When I see people put it on pizza, I'd like to just slowly choke them out.
Yeah, it's white trash.
I need to see every breath leave their body.
Yeah, I mean...
Put it on pizza.
Growing up in Kansas, I've seen people put ranch dressing on literally everything. It's so gross to me. The flavor makes me feel nauseous.
The name bothers me because it's so pushed in your face.
When I worked at a no longer operating restaurant in Kansas when I was in college called Buffalo Bob's Smokehouse. It was a little barbecue joint in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah. I like Joe's in Kansas, by the way.
Yeah, Joe's is the shit.
Killer.
This was nowhere near as good as any of the Kansas City places.
Like
this was
real,
where KU was.
right.
So,
okay.
But they had people wanted ranch with everything. Part of the deal was like you get your barbecue sandwich, whatever meat you wanted, and then they would bring out an enormous plate of curly fries for everyone to share.
Okay.
It was one of those type of places.
Okay.
And so people were always like, get me ranch. And you bring them out a ramekin, they're going to be like, I'm going to need 3 more if they're going to be this small. So people are just drinking this shit, basically. And so I always talk about how gross it was.
Gotta give them a bamboo straw to drink through.
Oh, I would just go, oh, ranch is so gross. And so all the other employees were like these slobs, and they would eat ranch by the handful. And I was like, oh, it's so gross. I can't even stand it. And someone goes, how much to get you to drink a ramekin of ranch dressing?
Oh, shit.
And I was like, $20.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, all I needed was $20. I could get a bag of weed. That was the goal. So
okay.
I was just basically like, yeah,
so you have goals.
I can get a bag of weed for a ramekin of ranch. I'm willing to do that. So I drank this ramekin of ranch. It's like 3 gulps or something.
Okay.
And it's so gross. Like I'm literally drank it and they give me the $20, and then I walked about 4 feet and I just threw up the ranch dressing all over the floor in the restaurant. It was pretty awesome.
Is that the first time you ever had ranch dressing?
I think I'd had it like accidentally on like a salad or something that someone tossed in ranch and I didn't know.
Ooh.
But it's just a vile taste. But, you know, this is the era
I've
of
never
Jackass.
had blue cheese
so I'm
either.
like,
oh yeah.
So it's just like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I did a lot of dumb shit for $20.
I know a lot of people that would do it.
Yeah,
would do for less.
Same era. I remember letting people smash cookie sheets over my head, like just run up and hit me as hard as they could with a cookie pan, and just wrapping this pan around my head, like totally causing concussions.
Is this in college?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So I'm a 19-year-old maniac, and
it's just curious, like what age you're like, I got an idea. I mean, I get it because I like to hurt.
Yeah.
But that's.
Yeah, it was, it'd be like at parties.
Somebody hits you the wrong way, that might make me snap.
Like I remember Sheezer being like, hey, can I smack this over your head? We were at some party. And
it makes perfect.
I was like, yeah.
Is it your dick?
Yeah, like as long as it's not your dick, you can slap it over my head. And someone filming it, and then all of us sitting in the room, all drunk and high, just watching in slow motion as he just wraps this cookie sheet around my head, just bends it so bad, hits me so hard, and I just go flailing.
Jesus.
Good times, though.
So great.
Yeah.
You learned a lot in college. It's amazing that you're still smart. They didn't knock it out of you.
Look, I was doing everything I could to just fit in and be an average American, try and enjoy life.
Because like my brother Charlie would do stuff like that, but mostly he'd be like, I could do that. Like 'cause sometimes you do it for nothing.
Sure.
And then one time, and I mean this is 80s, so it was like a giant camcorder.
Yeah.
That I remember this kid Tommy Bressy was filming him, and Charlie was like, "Yeah, I could do," because he could play basketball really well. Like he could have been a globetrotter. He was like odd,
Getting his and one mixtape put together.
right?
Yeah.
And like Charlie, he'd hit a layup, but he never just hit a regular layup. He'd have to spin or flip it around the
Sure.
back. Like he never,
Finger roll.
never a
you know.
normal shot.
Yeah.
So they made him like, he ran over, there was like these little benches on the side. He jumped over the bench. He ran up, jumped on a trash can, and he was going to like flip it under. And so trash can wasn't sturdy, and he went flying. All you hear, and it's probably our favorite tape ever to watch.
Sure.
And he made nothing on that
Yeah.
except for a lot of bruises.
Sure. But you know what? He did it. He had the mindset of the U.S. Army. You sacrifice one for many.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just
You could still get Charlie to be like, I bet you can't. And then, like, I love that commercial. Remember Jordan and Bird would be like off the back, and
Yeah,
Julius,
nothing but net.
nothing but net, like
Yeah.
off the back. That's Charlie. Like, I got an idea, and you're like, wait, what? That's not how you. Like, we play football, basketball. Have you ever done that?
is that tackle basketball?
Nope. It's a football, and you go to opposite ends, and you throw it
Try and get it
backboard
in
as
the
a
hoop.
point in the point. Yeah, it's 2 points if you get it in. Well, let's just say we.
We played
not
similar
smart.
games. Yeah, I think we called it it might have been the same game, but similar. We called it rim ball because he tried to hit at
But
least
with
hit the
a
rim.
football.
With a football.
You could get, like, if it hit the rim, you got points. If
Yeah.
it hit the backboard, you got points.
If it went
If
in,
it went in, you got more points.
maximum points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would play like that. We didn't play it this trip, but we were playing it over Thanksgiving. But my nephew Billy's like, this ruins my ball. Like, I have a real football, and we're slamming it against
Yeah.
a backboard. That's not.
Look, if he's not going pro, then
He's
Then
got a
fuck his
cannon,
ball.
that kid. That little shit. I don't know why he doesn't play, like, stick with, because he's perfect.
you ought to get Uncle Rico, Richie Taylor, to go
Uncle
coach him a little
Rico.
bit. Man, if Coach would just put me in, I'd be sitting in a mountain in a hot tub with my soulmate right now.
For some reason, why did they cast Richie as,
Uncle Rico?
he was so good, Uncle Rico.
Yeah,
But Richie that's the best description
yeah,
of Richie I've ever heard,
yeah.
because he's definitely filming himself
Doing
throwing
passing
and
drills
yeah,
at
dead.
45. Just like, what are you doing, man? You got to keep your
I'm
tape
still
fresh.
athletic.
You got to keep your. I haven't played in 10 years. That's extra time.
Me and my nephew Jimmy always joke about this. What's that? Hell's the name of the movie? I can't think of it. Faison loves in it. Vince Vaughn, Jon Favreau, some kind of resort. They're on a
Couples retreat.
couples retreat.
something,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's just a little. The movie overall not great, but there's always these little moments.
Yeah, I've
And
only
then-
seen a couple little scenes.
Exactly. And then Jon Favreau is like, I rocked in high school. And he's like, you didn't rock. Vince Vaughn's like, you didn't rock in high school. He goes, oh, yeah, you want to check tape? And no matter what somebody does, like little Jimmy will be like, oh, I rocked in high school. You want to check tape? Like,
Yeah.
just no matter what. They were making fun of me. My nephew Brandon says that when I catch, I just put my hands like this and it bounces off. That's
Stone hands.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm an excellent ball
That's
player.
Eleanor Stonehands Kerrigan.
Okay, there was some days. This finger's broken completely.
Yeah.
It's not coming back.
The shape is
Little Billy.
natural.
And Brandon broke this one.
Okay.
And then this one, they were using me as a backboard on
Makes
Christmas
sense.
Day.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
And little Billy is drilling it. And I'm like trying to not break everything in my sister's house. So I'm this person.
You're knocking it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my niece's new fiance is he's like, why would you? And I go, this is just how it goes.
This is life here.
These are the roles I get.
The streets of Philadelphia. This is how we do it.
And he's like, I'm not standing here. He was terrified. He's like, I gotta get out of here. He's like covering himself, and he just ran off. And he's a big dude. And then he watched as I tried to catch, and both of these fingers went bam. And then the 8-year-old just giggles because Annelle's broken again.
So funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. The little shepherd was like, oh, she's broken. On the inside and the outside, so everything's working out.
As long as it's full circle.
Yeah.
You don't want to be damaged in only one way.
So wait, I have a question. Christmas Day happens.
Yeah.
And then what do you do? Like, I'm so regimented at my mother's.
So my parents sent a bunch of presents, and my brothers and sisters sent Julia presents.
Oh, cool. So you had to have.
So I went and bought her some presents, and I just wrapped everything Christmas Eve after she went to bed.
Right, Santa Claus. See, you're getting into it.
Before I actually I wrapped them after I got home from the Comedy Store, and yeah. So then
she woke up.
She woke up.
But it wasn't like Santa bought these.
Fuck no. Santa doesn't get any credit for the shit I bought her. You kidding? I don't want my kid thinking there's some fucking creepy fat pedophile sneaking into her house.
Listen, that was the greatest thing ever. I don't know who made that up to lie to kids.
Yeah.
Truly one of the best things. And then as I told my mom all the time, I go, you guys could have worked harder and kept this for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Because
it's tough when you have older siblings because someone's going to let the cat out of the bag always.
Of course. And a million times they would. And we would go, you're crazy.
Oh, yeah. See, as soon as my brother found out, I don't even know how old he was. He just told all of us, like, Santa's not real. And I was like, what? Is that true? And my mom was like, yeah.
Well, there's 10 of us. So the oldest is 11 years older than me.
That's what I'm saying. So you should have been born into knowing that shit ain't real.
Right. So, I mean, we were very young, but how my brother Billy and I, the two most horrible people on the planet, found out, like, we lived to fuck things up.
Sure.
And so we were like, we would lie, like we had two younger, Bobby and Edie are younger. So we would say, look, if you guys don't go to bed, Santa's not coming. And all we wanted them to do was go to sleep because they're too noisy and they don't know how to sneak around properly. And our house is very small.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sneak around, you got to sneak. Like you got to. And Billy and I were so good. We could go down, distract. Like if my brother Charlie was babysitting, we'd distract him old school style by having the operator call the home phone.
Sure.
I mean, a lot of listeners out there are like, what? What's a
home
phone?
They don't know.
What's an operator?
Yeah.
Anyway, they would call. We would say the line is, there's a problem. They would call. Charlie would have to get up, go in the kitchen, and then Stealth and Stealthier would come down and hide behind, the couch, and he had no idea. This is a tiny house.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we would find things, whatever. But Christmas, we were looking for presents, and my mom used to write our names, and then we caught on to that, so she put us by number. That's when I found out I was number 8, and then because I couldn't count before then,
sure.
I was like, oh, this is me.
Yeah.
And so there's no way to hide things. So I guess they would take it to my dad's typewriter store, and then he would drive. They would unload it Christmas Eve. So while we're making Bobby and Edie go to sleep, we look out and we're watching them unload this truck.
Unbelievable.
I'm like, you motherfuckers.
When I was a kid,
you ruined it.
The deal was Santa brought one big gift, and then everything else was from my parents.
Oh.
So it was like
interesting.
You get the main gifts from Santa, and then everything else was just. Yeah,
were your parents religious?
Not really.
Okay.
Kind. I mean,
my mom's super, like, she's wearing a cape with a C on it.
My mom was Catholic and my dad was Lutheran, and my dad converted to Catholicism when they got married or whatever. But there was times in my childhood where they would be like, "We're going to church," and it would last like 3 weeks, and then my brother and I were so bad that they were like, "It's embarrassing. We can't go to church anymore." And we'd be like, "Victory!" And then, like, as soon as I was in middle school or something, I was just so cynical. Like, no, we're not doing this shit.
That's funny. Yeah, see, we went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
She was trying to keep us together, like
It,
keep us whatever
most of my
out of
childhood, we
trouble, I
were
guess.
we were pretty much a holiday religious family. So we'd go to Easter with one of our grandparents. It was all
Oh,
about
okay.
pleasing grandparents,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
So it was like my mom wanted her
Then
mom
once
to
the
think we were good.
grandparents go,
Yeah,
you're like, oh, all right, well, now
yeah,
we can do our own thing.
yeah. And so yeah, it was. We'd usually do like Easter with one grandparent, and then this would be Easter at the Lutheran church, and then Christmas
Hmm.
Eve at the Catholic church.
But Corinne's family, same thing. They don't do it either.
They don't do anything now. Like
Wow.
I think her parents like light the menorah and stuff, but
Uh-huh.
they
Yeah,
they
even
never went to synagogue or whatever.
okay. Even
So
Dice does both. Like when the kids were younger, he went to synagogue, but when they got older,
yeah,
it was their choice.
right.
Um,
And no one wants to do that.
right. And so they just do the high holidays. I don't even think they do that as much anymore, but they pretty much always just did the high holidays. And the Hanukkah's not a high holiday, but he would like the menorah and have a Christmas tree.
Yeah,
So
I told.
he was like, I don't care. I just like fun. Like,
Yeah,
it's not about religion.
that's what I said. I just go
Do you have a tree?
no,
Wow.
but yeah, I don't want to deal with that because I would have to buy it and decorate it and shit, and I don't care.
What did you think of our tree guy in Philadelphia? I loved it. Was it you that wrote it, or was it Danish and O'Neill
Must have been them.
that said, "Is there a new Jimmy and Joey auditioning?"
Oh, yeah, that was me. Yeah, yeah.
How great is
That's the
he?
new Jimmy. He seems like a class act.
Freddie's great.
Um,
And the other guy, Rocky. Oh, Rocky is who you were talking about. Freddie's the guy who sold me the tree. It's his
Got it.
lot. Yeah. But he was telling me a story. Oh, where's Dice? You know, and I'm like, he's not here.
yeah,
It's
it's not a thing.
we're not. You
Bring
know the
him,
cat.
get him over here.
Go call him on the phone. Like do the where I could see him. FaceTime. Yeah, he doesn't do FaceTime. You know.
Yeah,
So I'm trying everything. He's on a plane right now.
yeah. So
But he did make a video, and then Andrew posted it. He made a video of I was driving down the street, and I said, "Yo, is that Andrew Dice? That ain't Dice. I hear Jimmy. Is that Dice?" He said, "Yeah, it's Dice." He said, "Get the fuck out of here." That was the story. Dead. I was dying.
class act.
I was dying.
Yeah, I just can't get that festive. I just don't care.
But how could you not, knowing there's a Rocky wannabe
Well,
and Freddie?
yeah, I mean, I don't have that out here.
That's why I go home.
Yeah,
Because
you get that experience.
to buy a Christmas tree in Los Angeles, I may have done it twice. Because Dice has an artificial,
Yeah,
which is when I say people don't really care. I'm kidding.
yeah. I mean,
It's so much smarter to have an artificial tree.
the only way I would ever do it is with a fake tree.
Oh my God, it's so much smarter to have an
Yeah.
artificial. But this year, my sister Karen had an artificial tree, which is very rare. But the reason is, remember those bugs that were? They said they came in from China.
The
I feel like
Japanese beetles.
I thought they were China.
They
You might be right,
yeah.
Japanese, but I don't know. But they were
They're all China to UL.
in my neighborhood. We blame China.
Yeah,
So, fucking Chinese. They brought bugs. What?
yeah.
That's not a thing. But apparently,
it's a Chinese tick.
there was
Is probably what it is. Trying to give us Lyme's disease.
everything has an S. But they said that it infested in the trees, and that they're dormant if it's cold, and then once they get in your house, you
Warms
set
them
it
up, and yeah,
warms them up, and here they come.
it's a
So-
great reason to not buy trees.
Well,
anymore.
it put my sister in a severe panic because I think it was this summer, they were having a really bad problem with this. Like there were swarms of them,
yeah,
and she got some in her house. And you can't kill, like it's hard to kill them,
they're like bed
and
bugs.
they multiply like roaches.
Yeah.
Like it's bad. And so
We got to burn the house down, basically.
pretty much
Yeah.
is where my sister was at when she found one.
Right.
The video is amazing. My niece sent it to me because she couldn't even help her. She was laughing so hard at how she was screaming at this bug this big. So Karen was like, no fucking way I'm having that in my house. So she didn't get one.
Yeah.
And some lady in Philly, I think it was Philadelphia, she got a tree, decorated it, Everything was great. They're sitting admiring their tree or whatever, and there was an owl in it.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that
How
on
crazy is that?
NBC News or something.
But it didn't. They fully decorated the tree.
Yeah, owl just hung out there like.
And then it presented itself, and then they're like, "Oh my God," trying to help it out, you know,
Yeah.
because today you can't hurt anything. Whereas my sister, by the way, if you want to report her, she smashed all those Chinese, Japanese bugs, whatever they were. Once she heard the Oriental continent was involved,
Yeah.
she just started smashing.
Get the hammer.
So she killed those fucking bugs. She didn't care to let them out, but they couldn't get that owl out of the house.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope we get an owl. I'll deal with an
That'd be
owl.
cool.
Right?
I'm into owls. They're evil.
Are they?
Yeah.
How
Evil.
are they evil?
Well, they're nocturnal
just-
and they're predators. So
Oh, okay. I just think of them as chill.
no, I mean they're chill because they just sit there when you
Like,
see them, but they're literally just
They're
flying
loud.
around and they will shred. They have intense talons, so they will
Oh,
shred
yes.
small animals to pieces.
Well, right. But that's the circle of life. They
Well,
won't hurt
yeah.
me.
No, you're too large.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you
They're
know,
bullies, basically.
yeah, if they
Flying bullies.
if they saw a chihuahua, they'd be like, cut them open.
Yeah, like a fucking, what's the other one? The coyote.
Yeah,
They go after the little,
fucking coyotes.
they look for a puppy. They look for a
So
cat, kitten.
where I live, the coyotes, you know, I have that big mountain across the street,
Yeah, they're
so
everywhere.
they're all over the
Crazy.
place. So like some nights, I'll be laying in bed, I'll get home late or whatever, and you literally can just hear coyotes howling to each other in all directions. Where I'm just like, God, that's fucking annoying. I know some people are like, oh, that's nature, beautiful. I'm just
No,
like,
you're
shut
built
the fuck
in their
up.
neighborhood. That's what happened.
I moved here to get away from the sound of homeless people howling, and now I got to listen to this shit. The other night, I'm driving home.
Now you know where the homeless got it from.
They figured it out, and they're scavengers too.
Yeah.
I always say the coyotes are the tweakers of the dog world because they just like they pop
It's not-
out of the shadows and they scurry away quickly, and they look like they basically look like
Yeah.
German shepherds on meth.
Excellent.
So I'm driving home. I think it's like December 30th. I think it was the night before New Year's Eve, and I'm driving through Beverly Hills heading back, and there's just a fucking coyote at like 11:30 at night, literally just strolling
I've seen
through the
them.
intersection directly across the street from the Beverly Hills
I've
Hotel.
seen them. I freak out when they're in Beverly Hills.
I'm
I'm
just
like,
like,
dude,
what-
this is so close.
Yeah, like what the fuck are you doing in Beverly
Like,
Hills?
I understand by where you are in the mountains, but not in the fucking street.
Yeah, they're crazy by me. My parents were here like maybe a year ago. We just took Julia for a walk or whatever. So we walked up to the street, and the street I live on ends
You have to have
about.
a stick. You need
I
borrow
don't
a
care.
stick.
Yeah, I'll take a bat. We walked like probably half mile up the street, and then the street ends, and it's like part of Santa Monica
Oh, okay.
Mountain, whatever the park is there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so we get to the end, and there's like hiking trails or whatever, and we had her stroller, so I was like, well, I'm not going to take her on the dirt trail. But
Right.
my mom was like, is this where the coyotes live? I'm like, yeah, probably. You should just howl to them. So my mom, being my mom, starts howling,
I
and
love
I'm just
it.
standing there just like,
Oh,
so
she's
dumb.
so cute.
and about 10 seconds later, the coyotes just start howling back. It's
Oh,
like
my God.
it's like 5 p.m. I'm just like, what the fuck? And then my mom's so excited. She
They're
stands there,
talking to me.
howls back at him. For
Meanwhile, she's
2
like, we
minutes.
got one. She don't
Yeah.
even know she's talking.
Just like, ugh. We got a young baby over here if you guys are interested in feeding.
There's a small one. There's a small one. Who's touching?
I don't know. There's a
Oh,
lot of
it's Dave. I
man-on-man
see.
hugging going
A
on. in
lot
there.
of hugging. What was the store like over Christmas? I don't partake.
Christmas Eve, it was packed. It was a great crowd.
A lot of tourists, right? 'Cause, yeah,
A lot
even
of
when I
tourists,
waited
a lot of
tables, I
locals
left.
too. A
Yeah.
lot of locals who
Have
didn't
people
go
come
anywhere.
in.
So yeah. But it was sold out. OR show. I did great. I got a lot of feedback that I was far superior to the other comedians
That's
on the
amazing,
show.
and I don't see why that. I mean, that
And,
happens every night, doesn't it?
I mean, pretty much, but because it was the holidays, there was a lot of extra spirit about it.
Oh, okay.
So
like, you were the best.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got some nice messages from these fucking losers on social media,
Okay.
just telling me how impressive I was. Like I needed to hear that.
You're like, I already know.
And then Christmas, It was also good. I don't know
Christmas
if it was
Day,
sold
huh?
out, but
Yeah.
it was pretty close. Packed
Well,
out.
there's so many people that like don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
Where because I can remember like even as a waitress, I have to do the schedule, and I'd have to have, a certain amount of waitresses, and when they would call out, I'm like, fuck, because it would be busy. Like
Yeah.
even in our dead years, those
Yeah.
were our busiest times because there was nothing else open.
Yep.
Um,
And Mitzi, back then, Mitzi always had the Chinese food thing.
yeah, just put
Christmas
that
Eve,
out.
Chinese food.
Chinese food, they like that. It's Jewish thing.
Yeah, because that's
Okay.
what I learned about how the Jews always eat Chinese
food
for
and
Christmas
a movie,
Eve. Yeah.
usually.
I'd be like, oh, okay. Because I was starving back then, so
Yeah, you're
I
like,
was
all
like,
right, I'll
sweet
eat.
Chinese
Yeah.
food, and then just get horrible stomach pains from it.
Who eats Chinese food?
At
God
a comedy
bless you.
club, especially. Just been sitting out in a tin
Ugh.
for 2 hours. Well, that still looks good.
They'll get it. Who's getting it? Nobody gets
Bro, Chinese food is fresh, bro.
it. Oh God,
Lainey,
Dean, it's
Jerry are
not.
sleeping in the back.
I have another feeding in 10 minutes.
I was so excited that
Were they here?
on my no, I don't think so. But my Facebook feed posted 8 years ago or whatever when it notifies you of
Oh yeah.
when you get like
yeah.
this is what happened 8 years ago, and so I clicked on it and it was just a picture of Lainey passed out in the back of the OR, mouth agape. Dean sitting next to her giving me a big thumbs up.
Bro.
And Jerry Bear just looking at the camera like he was about ready to just butt fuck it. So great. And that's I'm looking at it, I'm just dying laughing. And then like there's this message from Lainey on there. She's like, Ingram, I support that club more than anybody. If I fall asleep sometimes, that's what happens. No one's mad, Lainey.
Oh my God, that's so sad. Yeah, I think of them. I think of like people that have nowhere to go, and that's cool that there's a place open.
Yeah.
I always stayed for Thanksgiving, like
Yeah.
when I waited tables. Now I tag out for both,
Yeah.
and Thanksgiving's pretty good here too. Because
Yeah, Thanksgiving was good.
people would love their family to shut up,
Yeah.
so they're like, "Yeah, let's go to a comedy show.
Yep.
Here, let's listen to somebody else."
Yeah, the shows were good both holidays this year.
Yeah,
New Year's
And
Eve was actually pretty good.
you did 3 shows New Year's Eve here.
Yeah, all the talented comedians were making money on
Thank
shows
you.
elsewhere.
Thank you.
And
kidding.
then myself and the unpayable comedians of
Okay, I was in
of
New
the
Jersey
comedy
getting
world.
paid. Yes.
yeah, I mean it literally seemed like every person, 90% of which I don't find amusing or respect in any way, were able to book headlining gigs
course.
somewhere.
I do. You gotta admit, New Year's Eve, worst crowds.
I don't know. I literally have never been able to perform anywhere other than here. So
Yeah, but I'm saying even here, they're loud.
It's
I'm
all right.
saying their brain is set for something else.
Yeah.
Even though they're at a comedy club.
Tommy used to make me ring in the new year.
Oh my God.
Like 3 years in a row, he made me
Wow.
do it. And so, well, because you do something different, okay? And so you can interact with the crowd because that's what you do anyway, okay? So the countdown's not going to disrupt your flow. And I'd feel like
The countdown disrupts everyone's
it
flow.
disrupts anything.
Anything.
and then-
there is.
And then it'd
People
be
are
like,
calling their home. You're like, what are you doing?
I'd be like 7 minutes into my set, and then we got 10 seconds. And so
Is
then
that Danny?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, Danny.
And so then I'd have to do the countdown, and then everyone would cheer and scream, and they all have champagne, and they're hugging and yelling and screaming, and then like a minute of that goes on, and then it kind of dies down, and then I have to just go back to doing comedy. It's so fucking lame.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how we did it. Okay, the first show, Christmas or New Year's
It
Eve,
was you and Shubes?
me and Schubert,
Yeah.
which is great.
Sure.
And the club owner of the Stress Factory is also a comic, and he's decent. Where usually a club owner that
Comic
wants
is terrible, yeah.
terrible. So Vinny, he works a lot.
Is this the same guy who owns the Stress Factory in New Brunswick?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
it.
I
We
remember
were in
him.
New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vinny. Okay, so Vinny does stand up.
Okay.
And so he goes on, and he is so personable with his crowd. Like, he knows everybody in there. So when he's on, it's almost like having an ultimate local warm-up guy.
Right.
He knows mostly everyone in the audience.
Yeah. So
They
it's
support his
inside
club.
jokes and
Right.
Yeah.
So it's great. So he does his thing. And so I think he did like 15. I did 30, and then Schubert did 40 or 45, whatever it was.
2 shows?
2 shows. The
Okay.
first show was great. It's
They're
older
pre-gaming,
people.
yeah. They're going to go do their countdown at home or party or something.
The second one, you got to understand, Vinny Brand is a ball breaker, and he constantly comes in and he's, okay, this is what we're going to do, and all of it's a lot. He's fucking with you, right? So I'm like, he comes in, he goes, all right, the second show, we're going to start. You'll probably go on stage at 11:30. And then at midnight, I'll come up, I'll interrupt you. We'll bring in the new year. I'll give them like 10 minutes. They'll call their families. They'll do their thing. Then I'll get the crowd back. And then Schubert will go on at about 12:30. And Schubert goes, no, this has got to be the worst idea I've ever heard. And we're both sitting there like, is he fucking with us?
Yeah, it's just...
And Vinny goes out and he's like, just trust me, it'll work. And it's his club, so it's so busy. People are calling him every 5 seconds, so they keep pulling him out of the...
Yeah.
And so me and Schubert are just sitting in the dressing room like, he's fucking with us.
Yeah, this is going to be terrible. What a disaster.
So now it's 10:40, 10:45, whatever, 10:50. He comes in and he goes, you guys good? And we're like, are you fucking with us? Is this really how? Yeah. And he goes over the whole thing again, and we're like, this can't be.
Yeah.
And
nothing like the headliner post celebration.
We did it.
Wow.
He goes, this is what's going to happen. We're going to do it, and you're going to go, why does any other club do it any other way? And I was like, well, I know I might say that because I'll be thrilled to be off by midnight, but Schubert, on the other hand,
sucks to be him,
is going to get raped on repeat. No? And Jimmy goes, yeah, I'm a little, and he starts, Schuberting.
Yeah. He's all shifty. He's limping again.
My brother Charlie with us, and Charlie's like, what's wrong with him? And I'm like, don't, not now. And Charlie's like, Flyers are losing. I'm like, nope, no one cares. Right now, Schubert's in a little bit of a panic. And you're like, all right, I'm going to go get more Budweiser. So he just like walked off. And we were panicked. And then Vinny goes, I'm going to light you, but if you run the light, I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to say, hey, it's midnight.
We got to do this.
And I was like, okay. So I'm waiting. The lights on. I'm trying to like wrap it up. I can't see what time it is. There's no clock. Fuck. And then thank God I finished good. And then I was like, are you guys ready? Ringing the new year.
Yeah.
Vinny, where the fuck are you? Is this really how it's going to happen? And then he came up. I mean, people went crazy. Called their families. It was a good 10, 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And then he went back up. He's calling them by name, so he knows them. He gets them to sit. I've never seen anything happen like that.
He sets the tone,
he got
puts them
them
back
back
in. Yeah.
Schubert went up and lost at least 15 pounds.
Yeah.
Because he was so nervous.
Yeah.
But he professional. He killed.
Yeah.
He Schuberted, But it was not easy.
Yeah, yeah.
But he got him, and he got off. He goes, let's get the fuck out of here. Because he had a 4:30 flight.
Yeah, I remember one year, I think it was the first year that Tommy was like, well, I'm going to have you bring in the new year. And Brody had done it like 3 years in a row.
Okay.
So Brody was
Pete always did it too.
Harris always did it in the OR.
In the OR.
Yeah, and he'd light off firecrackers.
Always funny.
When I was the doorman, 2 years in a row, he did it and set off the fire alarm.
Okay.
And so then we literally had to clear out the entire OR and wait for the smoke to clear before we put people back in there.
Now, can you imagine the comic has to go on?
I think Skippy Simon had to go after him or something.
Aww.
And but yeah, so first year I had to do it at midnight. I'm just like, all right, this is the deal, and people are already starting to talk, and everyone's just like, oh, it's almost like checking their phones. It's almost midnight.
What time is it?
And about 3-4 minutes into my set, Brody just walks out on stage, and I turn around and I'm like, hey, Brody Stevens, everyone. He's like, takes the mic. Just wanted to come out here. In previous years, I have rang in the new year, and I was watching from the side, and I just wanted to let you know you're doing a great job. Isn't he doing a great job, everyone?
My God.
Well, if you want to hang out and stay out, and maybe you could help me ring in the new year. That would be a great idea. And so then he just hung it. He literally just basically took over my set because he wanted to be the one so badly.
Oh
And
my
I was just
God.
dying, just like, God, that's so funny.
I mean, that's just so Brody not to let it go.
I just wanted to come out and say you're doing a great job.
I'm watching you from the back.
Just an opening with in past years, I have had the
Why
honor.
did he switch it? He didn't say, Tommy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just Tommy wanted to do something different. This was that same era when Tommy decided that I only got the Brody spot, but Tommy would always make me go up last in the main room.
Oh.
And be like, well, we need you to spread your wings, expand your comedy, okay?
Really hone.
All right, this is
Craft.
like Kinnison, okay? You can develop a late night following. Only instead,
My favorite thing that everybody says. It's the Kinnison spot.
yeah. And for me, since I'm not a famous person like Kinnison was when he was doing the Kinnison
though, when
spot.
he was getting those spots.
And like the stories I've heard from people are like, after Kinnison got famous, he would want to do it so that way he'd go on for 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would go up in front of 8 people and like, do as long as you want. I'm like, can I do 3 minutes? Because I don't want to.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
3 minutes tops is great.
This is awful. Well, I
This
really
is going to continue to be awful.
Really liked when you did last night. Oh, really? Because I could hear you singing in the lobby from where I was doing comedy. That's how bad it was going up there.
What would he be saying? Metsing.
That's called Metsy's song.
Like, I'm Still Alive. Sound a little Pearl Jammy in there.
Yeah.
What's that song called?
It
is.
There's Alive by Pearl Jam.
That's it. Alive. See, I was trying to be hip. I even have an Alive shirt, and I forgot.
Yeah, the Alive guy. I was excited that on that video I think I sent you of Tommy performing in Honduras, that he was covering Temple of the Dog. I did not realize he was doing the Pearl Jam Soundgarden super band.
Amazing. Temple of the Dog, one of my favorites.
Oh, I was dying.
What was that to benefit? I forget, but
that was
somebody died.
Yeah,
Not Tommy.
Before Pearl Jam was a band, they were a different band with a different lead singer called Mother Love Bone.
Right.
And the lead singer died.
And what song was Tommy?
He was doing Hunger Strike.
Hunger.
I don't mind eating bread from the mouths of starving Indians.
Wait a minute, that's not the word.
I'm going hungry.
Those aren't starving Indians.
Oh. If they were so great, they would have had the technology to defend themselves.
I have to rewatch. I'll have to check tape because that's amazing.
But yeah, I was very excited. One of my buddies, one of my best friends' ex-girlfriend, is now married to a guy who takes her around the world, and they eat a bunch of drugs and party. And
oh, that's what they do? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say eat a bunch of different cultures' food.
No, they'll go to like the rainforest and eat a bunch of hallucinogenic roots and trip out on a fucking Mayan temple for a couple days. That kind of crazy shit. But they made it to some random island near Honduras and walked into a restaurant to have dinner, unaware that
she must
former talent coordinator Tommy Morris was going to be performing from the corner of the room. And she said she recognized him but didn't know where she recognized
it out,
from.
Place it. Yeah, sure. You're like, wait, I know that person.
Luckily, he was performing for
once
about
those vocals started.
8 people in a taco restaurant in Honduras, and he felt the need to mention,
I'm going hungry.
I worked at the Comedy Store in Hollywood for a while.
No, he didn't.
In between songs. And as she put it, at least half the people in the crowd didn't speak English. And the ones who did were like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I helped discover the careers of Chris D'Elia. Look around the room. No one is impressed because it's Javier, the Honduran, who's just like, what is Gringo talking about?
Who's Chris D'Elia?
Maybe you've heard of Whitney Cummings because I discovered her. All right, anyway, this song is called Man in the Box by Alice in Chains. So yeah.
More stuff that they're like,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, because
what is this song?
Don't you have anything Spanish? Like at least Ari's going and learning Spanish. Do you speak Spanish?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I thought it was you.
I
was a little.
No, the only foreign language class I ever took was Latin. So.
Oh, okay. I can't remember who, but Ari, I texted him in New York. I said, "Hey, are you in town?" Because I was in New York for like 12 days. So I was just gonna see if he wanted, if he was performing, whatever, we could hang out. So I was like, "Hey, you in town?" And he writes me back this long thing in Spanish. Basically, he's in Colombia learning Spanish. So I just write back, "Jerk off," because that's who I am.
Yeah.
I don't have time for nonsense.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Wait, did Ari get hacked?" Like, you know what I mean? I couldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's always changing his number. So I'm like, fuck. So I sent it to Jeff Danish, and he translated it for me. And it was something.
Danish speaks Spanish?
No, he looked it up.
Oh, I see.
He knows a little, but not like,
right.
So
wait, Ari was in
Colombia.
South America.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's Colombia. Learning, that's his new thing. He wants to learn.
From a native.
Yeah. And he just keeps
he
putting up all these
himself
random pictures of him in Colombia. I'm like, how big give you a Colombian necktie, you motherfucker?
Yeah.
Like, just not that he does or drugs or whatever.
I'm sure he's doing drugs.
Yeah, but not that way.
Yeah.
He's not cokehead. That's the ones that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's the ones where people get angry over.
Yeah.
The other shit nobody cares about.
Yeah, and Ari,
I guess weed too, but he's more of a hallucinogenic.
Yeah,
guy,
Ari's
right?
a weed guy and a mushrooms guy.
Mushrooms, that's the one.
But I'm pretty sure he's paying for.
Off.
He's probably paying for his drugs.
Oh yeah, he's definitely.
That's
paying.
the thing that angers people.
I have money.
Yeah, I'll pay you extra. Just give me the drugs.
Don't follow me.
He Ari's his journey to becoming a drug experimenter is very amusing to me.
Yeah.
I remember he was like, he came up to me.
He always smoked pot though, right?
No.
Oh, really?
He did. When I worked here and the first couple of years I hung out, he very rarely smoked pot. And back then I was always the guy who had good pot. So I remember Ari came up to me and was like, "Hey, could you get me a bag of like that really good shit?" I'm like, "Sure, man." So I got him a bag, and
so you ruined Ari's life as well. Okay.
Well, yeah, I gave him the weed, and then like, I want to say 15, 16 months later, we were in La Jolla together, and he was like, "Hey, I got some weed." I'm like, "Nice." I'm like, "Where'd you get this?" He's like, "It's that bag I bought from you." I'm like, "That was a year and a half ago, man."
Oh my God.
Well, I don't really smoke that much, so I'm like, "You're a fucking animal." I can't even imagine having. I mean, it's got to be the yeah, it had to be like the equivalent of like 20 bowls, maybe. Like I would smoke that in 3 days back then.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I've never smoked pot.
I know.
Gross.
You weirdos. You and
my
Richie.
little sister. Oh, Richie too?
Yeah, I never smoked
Rico
pot.
didn't.
Yeah, Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico. No, my little sister Edie and my brother Bobby too. Never smoked pot.
That's
I don't
weird.
know why. Maybe we were just like weirded out by it, or
my brother.
Everybody
never
had
did.
it. Everybody did it. I was always around it. My two best friends did it, and I remember them eating a lot. And I was like, "That's it."
Yeah, it's a great feeling. I miss it a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we were talking about not feeling, not thinking.
Yeah.
That kind of does it, right? Not.
I
guess
definitely
it
don't.
opens it in a different way.
It definitely makes me so I'm not like sitting around thinking about how unsuccessful I am, and
oh my God,
it's like
maybe I should start doing that.
Yeah, like I instead of like not being able to sleep until like 1 a.m. because I'm sitting there going,
what am I doing?
How badly have I fucked up my whole life that these untalented pieces of shit are successful and I am fucking nowhere. And then waking up in the morning like 6 a.m. being like, holy fuck, accomplished nothing last night, and I'm
Yeah.
still unsuccessful. I would
Oh
just
my
be like,
God, I'm glad you do that to yourself too. I thought I was the only nutbag.
nope.
My mom's like, "You're getting antsy. You want to go back to Los Angeles. You don't like being here." I go, "That's not what it is. You're missing the point completely.
Yeah.
I'd stay here forever if I could now and hide
Yeah.
and never, but I fucked up and I chose this crazy ass lifestyle. That what was happening is I get anxiety of, I always have anxiety of I'm not doing enough
Right.
and I'm not working hard enough to get to
Yeah. The
better
next level.
right. So coming back here was the like to LA because now you're in it.
Yeah.
Now it's back. Now it starts again. Now the cycle just.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What did you do? You're gonna get there. Well, how was your trip? Where did you work? What did you?
Yeah.
They want your fucking play-by-play in this competitive
Yeah, man. I was.
gym that we work
I
out
came
in.
in tonight thinking we were going to be able to talk to Garland, and I was going to line up this comedy special, and
Yeah, and he gave us the fucking.
strangely enough, he bailed out, and I'm starting to think that maybe this comedy special isn't going to happen after all.
I think you might
put-
be onto something.
I put all my chips in the pot, and I
was
said,
hoping to
I'm
get a
gonna let it
walk
ride.
on in Goldberg's. I guess not.
Unbelievable.
That's in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I guess that's where we keep the Jews, in case you're wondering.
That makes sense.
Well, in the 80s, definitely was segregated. But, yeah, we were supposed to talk to Jeff Garland, and he stood us up.
He had bigger things
So
to do.
If you want to torment Jeff on his social media for standing us up,
Does he have?
go for it.
Yeah,
oh,
I guess he
yeah.
has Instagram.
Yeah,
He doesn't
remember
have Twitter.
he said something about Dice
Oh, yeah.
on Joe Rogan's podcast. Well, Joe Rogan is so good at like saying great things about Dice. You know, like he obviously was influenced by Kinnison, Dice. Those are his guys.
Yeah.
You know, that's who he looked up to, which is awesome. And when he speaks about Dice, he says it in like an amazing manner. And Andrew's always like, I'm embarrassed to listen to this, but
Yeah.
it's great. Like it's nice
Yeah.
and paying homage. And so Garland was on, and I guess he said something. Oh, I know. He said that The Day the Laughter Died, which was Andrew's biggest album, went double platinum rather quickly. And
That's
so
the
did
one where he performed in front of nobody.
8 people at Dangerfield.
Yeah.
By the way, I performed at Dangerfield a couple weeks ago. Amazing.
Is that right?
I got a
I didn't know
check
it was still
for $25, and it says Rodney Dangerfield on there.
I didn't
Very
realize it was
excited.
still a club.
It really is, and the same guy runs it, Tony, terrific, and it's very much like the store. If you go late night, there's not a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's gritty. It's that old school kind of.
Sure.
It's fucking great. I loved it.
Where is it?
But it's on 68th. No wait. I'm sorry. I get so confused. 63rd and 2nd, I think, somewhere around there in Manhattan.
I don't know a single street, so.
I'm sorry,
Manhattan,
it's in Manhattan somewhere, but it's
All right.
Dangerfields, and it's still, that's where he recorded it.
Yeah.
So when I went in there, he was so jealous. How'd you get a spot at Dangerfield? But anyway, Garland was talking about them doing it at Dangerfields, and he said, I bet it was Rick Rubin's idea. And it wasn't.
Right.
It was Dice's idea. So Andrew, of course, immediately
Yeah, I recall
took to social
the
media.
beef. You fat motherfucker.
Why does he call? I was like, well, Andrew, he just didn't know. Who
Yeah.
cares? But he went off on him. And then when Andrew was doing a podcast, he had them on. And I was Andrew's co-host for that episode and watched them hash it out.
Hilarious.
So I've done a Garland
That's why.
podcast.
You put him on the spot.
And maybe that's why he's afraid, too. He doesn't want to give you a special, and he doesn't want me to say, hey, remember when you shit on Dice on Rogan?
We're
No,
the
kid
two
it.
funniest guys in comedy. And
Yes, we are, Rick. Oh, I thought you meant. Oh, was it me?
Oh, it's the two of us.
Rick and I are gonna switch genders. We're
I-
gonna gender fluid.
We're gonna we're gonna gender fluid. Is that how you
we
say
do
it?
I don't fucking know.
We
I
should
just
gender.
assume
We should gender fluid.
We-
I mean, that definitely sounds like there's a lot
I
of.
go on as a dude. You go on as a chick.
Oh, I see.
Then we're a comedy team,
All right.
a tranny team. Can we say that?
Yeah, you can say tranny team.
Tranny team.
We
tranny team.
are not working in Hollywood, so we can say whatever we
Oh,
want.
I thought this was gonna get us in Hollywood.
No. This we
My goal this year is to get on the Degenerates. Netflix.
Yeah, how do we do that?
I don't know, Rick. But
Can I do it
let's go.
too?
Let's start a campaign. Yes, Rick and I on the Degenerates.
Because I feel like
'Cause
I'm more
they're the only
degenerate than
one-
some of the
Same.
degenerates.
But the first ones,
It was like Brad Williams and
they
Diaz.
did really well.
Yeah.
Diaz and Christina Pazinski, they did
Yeah.
really well. And then this year, it's Bobby Kelly, it's Jim Norton, it's
Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer, it's Miss Pat, who I
Yeah.
think is terrific.
Donnell.
Donnell Rawlings. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I'm saying. They're bringing some good, and it's the only one that's come back for a second.
Yeah.
Like that other 15-minute one just didn't work.
Yes, but so you could probably get in.
How?
You're female and funny and filthy.
Filthy.
I, on the other hand, I'm gonna have to wear a dress or something to get them to consider me.
What are you talking about? You're a white male. You're obsolete.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're not gonna book me for anything.
But you're funny. Bobby Kelly was on it. He's a white male.
Yeah, but he's already known. They're not gonna book unknowns.
I was hanging with Bobby in Philadelphia, and I didn't perform that night. It was his show. He was headlining at Punchline, but my sister wanted to go see him. I go, I'm not watching comedy, but you watch, and I'll meet you after. And I met them after, and people were like, hey, can we take a picture with Bobby? So I was taking pictures, and he thought it was hilarious that I had to take pictures.
so
You're a
rude.
piece of shit.
Yeah. I would have spit in people's faces.
and then he was taking pictures of me taking pictures.
God
Fuck
damn it.
you. So I'm just saying, I don't know. That's a thing. That's a good thing, and we can
Well,
get
good
on
luck.
that.
I think you could get on.
You could too.
No one's. What am I going to cold call them? I got nothing. I got
Same.
nothing in this community. People don't even know I exist.
Wait, we got our show starts this month. When is yours there?
Like the 16th.
We're
or
Ringers,
17th or
guys.
something.
We're part of the Ringers. Mine is January 24th, so it starts January 10th. So watch on Comedy Central.
When does
Mine January 24th.
when does this podcast come out?
Today, now.
Oh, it's
We're
coming out
late.
now.
We're a week late.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna be on Lights Out on next Tuesday, the 7th, and then I think I can't even remember what date. I think
See,
it's like
you
the
got all
16th
kinds
or
of stuff
17th.
happening. What are you talking about?
No,
Lights out again? That's great.
Those are the only two things I have booked for the rest of my life. Is the
rest of
Ringers
this
is coming out.
month. Go 1 month at a time.
Okay.
Let's go 1 day at a time.
All right. So if I go 1 month at a time, then I have 2 things this month.
Okay, that's great.
I got Lights Out Spade next Tuesday, the 7th, and I got the Ringers on like the 17th or something.
See that? 7. One more 7 and you hit the lottery.
And then I have nothing booked for the rest of my life.
No one likes you, Rick.
That's true.
All right. Watch The Ringers, Comedy Central. Listen to the podcast. Rate, subscribe, all that stuff.
If you don't watch the Ringers, at least just watch
watch-
footage from Ring doorbell apps on neighbors.com or whatever it is.
I just got my mom one of those.
Yeah. We have one. It so far has served purpose of nothing. The one time we could have used it because the police were pounding on my front door at 4 a.m. Corinne forgot that we had it, so she didn't check it out. She was just like, "Someone's trying to break in. Go open the door." I'm like, "What? Why would I?"
Does she want you to invite them in?
I guess. So
Okay.
I saw a bunch of flashlights peering in the windows. I'm like, "That's probably cops."
And what was it to evacuate?
No, it was so we have a ADT security system.
Yeah,
because we're
worst,
ballers.
by the way, the worst.
And
Mhm.
every
Drives me crazy.
every time the cell phone tower in our area goes out, which is quite frequent because we live in a hilly area, our security system just starts beeping to notify us that it cannot receive or send out a signal currently.
Amazing. Okay.
So it started doing it, and I called ADT, and I go, "Yeah, it's doing this shit again that it did a couple months ago." And the guy was like, "Oh, okay, well, I need you to set off the alarm to see if it notifies us that there's a break-in, so we can find out if the system works or not." I go, "Okay." So I set off the alarm, and it's going, shrieking, loud alarm noise, and then he's like, "You got to do it for a full minute." I'm like, "Okay." And then he's just like, "Nope, we didn't get any signal, so your system's non-operational." I'm like, "Cool, how do we fix it?" "Well, you're going to have to call AT&T because it's their tower and blah, blah, blah." I'm like, all right. So eventually I just call like ADT back and I go, listen, this shit's not going to be turned on probably for a day. So how the fuck do I turn the volume down so that I don't have to listen to this notification beep every minute and a half?
You can't.
And he told me how to turn the volume down. So I figured it out. I turned the volume down, and so even though it continued to not get a signal, I didn't have to listen to it. So then 3 days go by, tower's still down, I guess, and eventually they turn it back on at 4 in the morning, and the system turns back on, and at that point, the alarm system sends out a message to the police department that the alarm was set off from a break-in from 3 days before because the ADT guy told me to do it. And so they showed up at my house with their guns drawn because they received note that there was a full burglary taking place. Yeah, and so I opened the door, and there are 4 cops standing there with guns. And I'm like,
come on in, guys.
Yeah, can I help you?
Right on time.
And they were like, well, we received note that there's a break-in going on, but we don't hear your alarm. And I said, well, the alarm does appear to be working again, but it has been non-operational for 3 days, and I'm guessing it sent out a signal from 3 days ago when they told me to set it off to see if they could receive the signal. And he was like, okay, sorry, have a good night.
Jesus.
Like, Jesus. And then I went upstairs, and Chris was like, oh, my God. What if we didn't know it was cops? I'm like, well, you could have checked the fucking doorbell cam.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about it. I'm like, yeah, good.
I'm excited about this doorbell cam thing for my mom.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's good times.
It's going to notify her every time my brother Charlie goes out to smoke a cigarette.
That's going to be good.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
So now
What
she
a
knows
world.
how many.
She can count them.
All right. Thank you, guys. Please watch Rick on Lights Out. It's a great show. It's a fun show. And then The Ringers, Comedy Central. His is the 17th. Watch them all. There's the 10th, the 17th. I'm the 24th. And I think it goes into February, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's 6
Punky,
episodes.
everybody's on it. It's killer.
Definitely check it out. Mostly just ours. A lot of the other comics are garbage.
That's
but
not true.
just check out the good ones.
That's not true. I think everybody was great.
If you feel like making negative comments about other people.
Oh, yeah, we like that.
That's perfectly
well, you meant
fine.
about us, too.
No,
I don't care about us either.
Compliment us because we're great. But other people that aren't on the same level and you notice, just put it out there for people to know.
They got to know where they stand.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Josh, do you have anything to promote? Is Josh here? Happy New Year. Is he not there? Does he don't want to do it? He don't want to do it. All right. Thank you, guys. Peace.